Alright, hi 7th grade, this is Mr. Brian. I'm in here with 7B and parts of 7A, and we're doing a video of the test review for tomorrow's test. Here's the deal. We're good? Okay, so let's discuss, and you might have to follow me a little bit back and forth here. When we are going through and talking about the equations for circumference or area of circle or other equations, a lot of times it's not just a matter of calculating, it is a matter of understanding the relationship between the parts of the equation. And sometimes it is very similar to just working through a one-step equation, which we should be pretty well familiar with by now. For instance, if we have a one-step equation, 8 equals v times 2. And you have the equation for circumference. Circumference equals pi times diameter. Do we see the similarity there? One item equals two things that are being multiplied, right? So when I look at 8 equals v times 2, how do I solve that? What am I going to do? How do we figure out what v is? The unknown thing that's up there. There's only 4 things we can do. Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. What are we going to do? We're going to... who's got an idea? What should we do? What are we going to do, Nasli? Go ahead and pause it, Kelly. We're good? Okay, Nasli says we're going to divide. That is correct. We are going to divide. Right here is multiplication, so we always want to do the opposite. So we're dividing. Dividing by what? 2. Dividing by 2.
Somebody's calling you. It's a spam risk.
If you see a spam pop up, you can just decline. We are going to divide by the thing that's being multiplied times the unknown. 2. Yes. And we get 4 equals v. Therefore, as we come over here, if we know what the circumference is, let's say the circumference is 32 equals pi times diameter. What am I going to do to find out what the diameter is? Like here, I wanted to find v, so that's what I did. How am I going to find the diameter? Divide by pi. Yeah. We got that? Yeah. We divided by pi. So 32 divided by pi is the diameter. What is the diameter equal to? 2 times the radius. So watch this. 2r. I want to get r by itself. What do I do? Divide by 2. Guess what? Divide by 2. And that cancels out. Look at what we just did compared to here. 30. 32 equals pi times diameter. When it's actually, I can rewrite this again. Pi times, what is diameter? 2 times r. Sound good? And then I divide. How do I get r by itself? What am I going to divide by? 2. Well, that still leaves pi. Can I put them together? Pi times 2, like that? Will that cancel them out? Let's see, if I was doing this, 32 equals 4 times 2 times 4. Well, four times 2 times r. Could I divide by 4 times 2? Divided by 4 times 2, which is 8, right? And that's 8. This cancels out. 8 divided by 8. And we'll leave r by itself, which is the same thing as 4 times 2. Am I doing the same thing here? So what am I going to divide by? Pi times 2. See how this canceled out right there and we left r by itself? Which one does that match up with?
C.
C. No. Does anyone have any questions about how we got there? Understanding what's going on, the multiplication that's happening, how 2 times r is the same thing as radius. They're asking us for what best represents the radius of the garden. So the diameter is the same thing as 2 times radius. All right? Any questions about that? Okay. Now pause that. We're good? Do we see how G matches up? It's very similar. That was Janelle. Instead of going behind Kelly, she decided to go in front. So, it's a very similar problem. Therefore, 29 divided by 2 times pi. Okay. Number 3. All Major League Baseball stadiums use standard measurements for their infield area. The pitcher's mound is a circle with a diameter of 18 feet. What is the approximate area that the pitcher's mound encompasses? Encompass, does anyone know what encompass means? Like contains. Like this classroom contains about 28 students right now. Like that. Encompass. Okay. What are they looking for?
The approximate area.
Keyword? Area. What's another key piece of information? Diameter of 18 feet. So we begin by doing what with the problem circle? Nope. D equals and R equals. Which one do they give us? They give us diameter, which means the radius is half of the diameter. It's 9. So we divided by 2 and we got 9. So now we use our area equation, which we write down. These are all the things I'm looking for you to do. Area equals pi times radius squared. Pi is 3.14 times, what does radius squared? So the radius is 9. What does 9 squared look like?
9 times.
What is it?
9 times.
9 times 9. 2 times. That's what the 2 stands for. 2 times. So 3.14 times 81. And whenever we're calculating circumference area, and it's a multiple choice question, sometimes we can estimate, and instead of using 3.14, we can just use the number 3. and get an answer that is close enough for us to choose the correct answer. In this case, if we multiply this, we end up getting around 255. Does anyone have any questions about that? You have this?
No.
Edwin, you need to move far away from where you are. Like behind Caitlin. Right. Any questions? We got this? Great. Oh, keep going. Pause it if there. All right, Kelly. Number 4. Kara drew a circle with a radius of 20 inches and another circle with a radius of 10 inches. What is the approximate difference between the areas of the two circles? All right, what are they asking for? What's some key information?
The difference between the area.
So first of all, radius, and then radius again. And then Ruben mentioned the difference, which means we are doing what?
Subtraction.
We are going to have some subtraction to do. And what are they asking for? The difference between
The area.
areas. Okay. So I have 2 circles. Here's one, here's another one. Here, radius. 20 inches. Diameter, 40. Over here, radius 10. Diameter, 20. Times 2, not square. So area equals pi times radius squared. So over here it is 3.14 times 200 squared, which is 3.14 times 400. Look, it's like 3.14 times 4, which is 12.56. Then add a couple of spaces, or move the decimal a couple places. 1,256. Over here, so area equals 3.14 times 10 squared, which is 3.14 times 100. Again, the decimal moves a couple of times, and so this is 314. But we need the difference between these two numbers. So we subtract. What do we get when we have 1,256 minus 314?
942.
We get 942. So we're always paying attention to those little extra parts of the question. If they want the total of both things, or twice that, or add things together, or this is half of the other one, we know how to calculate those parts and look for those pieces, those little instructions inside the question. Okay. Next. Number 5. The net of a square pyramid and its dimensions are shown here. What is the total surface area? So what's the key part of the word?
Total.
Total surface area. Okay? There are 2 kinds. We have total area, surface area, and we have lateral. if we remember when we have our three-dimensional objects like this triangular prism, lateral area deals with the areas that are not bases. In a triangular prism, the triangles are bases. So lateral area would be here, here, and here, not the triangle bases. Because if you stood it like that, they're the bases. We are concerned about only the lateral surfaces there. Or in the case of a prism like this, the lateral surfaces would be here, just the sides, not the bases. The top or the bottom are the bases, not those. Here, though, they want the whole thing. Do I have enough information? How many shapes do I have? We have how many? Pause. So, we've realized that all of the triangles are equal. So if we find the area of a triangle, what could we do? We could find it 4 times and add them all together. What's another thing we could do? Multiply, find the area and then multiply times 4. So they're all the same. And then we do the square, we find the area of the square, and then what do? We combine everything, we add them all together. So for the square, that should be easy. It's 12. Area equation for a square is a kind of rectangle. What's the equation?
8.
What do BH stand for?
Base times height.
Base times height. What numbers are we going to multiply? It's a square. Risa?
12 times 12.
I'm sorry?
12 times 12.
12 times 12. They're the same. This is 12 here. This is 12. This is 12. So the area for our square, or that rectangle, is 144. Now we're going to find the triangle. So it's like this. Okay, and we have our equation, 1/2 base times height. All right, so I'm ready to put in some numbers. What's the base of the triangle? The base of the triangle. 12. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right? 12 times 12 times, what's the height of the triangle?
8.
Sure. Very good. Straight up and down. 8. What's the problem with 10? 10 is slanted. Hey, can I do something like half of 12 or half of 8? Half of 12 is 6, and now 6 times 8 equals 48. And then what do we need to do? Times 4. And we get 192. Okay? What am I going to do with 192? Add these two together, and you get 336. Got it? Oh. It's one little piece, but they're easy. The area of that triangle, the area of that rectangle. Then go to the next one, and the next one. All right, we good? Finally, number 6 has a few things that we need to calculate, because they want to know which one has the greatest Lateral surface area. What's the key part of information or key question?
Lateral surface.
Lateral. So according to that net, are we gonna leave out? I'm gonna number these shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I leaving anything out? Or do I want the whole thing?
You don't have anything.
I'm gonna leave some out. Which ones?
The triangle.
1 and 2. I don't need the base. Those would have been triangular bases. So now I just calculate these rectangles. Area equals base times height. Basically, all we have to calculate is 12.9 times 24. Are we back on, Kelly? Now what?
You multiply like
Oh, 1, 2, 3 of them times 3. And then we end up getting 928.8. 928. So that's the area, the lateral area here. Okay, they want the greatest. So we have that calculated. Now let's move over to a G or B, whichever one that's on your paper. The next one. Are we leaving out anything? Which one do we leave out? The middle triangle we don't need. But these other ones I do. Do they all look alike?
yes.
Yeah.
We know they're the same base all around because if there's only one listing for that number, that means it repeats here and here. It's an equilateral triangle. It's the same on every side. So the base is always 29, which then means the height is always
18.82.
12. 18.82. Oh, actually, well, yeah. That's a slant. So we do area is 1/2 base times height. 1/2 12 times 29. Gotta do half of 12. 6 times 29, which is gonna be 174. And then that's one of them, right? That's 174. But we need to do
3.
times 3, which gives us 522. But is that more or less than the first one?
Less.
It's less, so that's out. Finally, answer choice H right here. J got cut off. All right, lateral surface area. What are we doing? What's our first step?
Crossing out the base.
Crossing out the base. Okay. Are all these the same?
Yeah.
They look the same. Okay, so I can just find one and then multiply times 4. So area equals base times height. What is 3.5 times 14.5? It ends up being 50.75. Then what am I going to do, Victor? I found the area, 50.75. Do I want to calculate that again here? Oh, times 4, yes. And we end up with 203. So, not H. F is our answer. Okay, good luck. Thank you.